This is Enzo Eigen of the Alliance for Loki, and this is Season 13, War Number 8, against BRJP. So this alliance was not ranked very high, and so when we got our matchup, we're always happy it's not New York or Kenobi, but you never want to take anyone for granted because we've certainly lost to almost any type of alliance, no matter how low or high their rating is, so you always want to play well. So as you see, goodbye to the Corvus Void Omega team, and hello Emma, Mysterio, and Medusa. So now, as I explained in the last video, I've been changed from path 7, the unknown path, to path 2, 9. And 9 is the one that has reverse controls. So of course, Emma and Mysterio have this great synergy that reverse the reverse controls. They're just normal. And so since I have them both at rank 5, I was put on that. So I'm off to path 2 first as my path in section 1, and it's usually a pretty straightforward path. I actually don't have a fight on the first node, so that always makes it easy. And then on the second node, I find it's Sentinel. And so this node is sort of interesting because every few seconds you get a poison, and then you also get this bleed, which does no damage, but if somehow the bleed doesn't proc, you take 7% of your health damage. And so you think Medusa is the absolute perfect champion for this fight because, of course, she's poison immune, and then you can bleed, but the bleed doesn't cause any damage. But something really interesting happens in this fight. So it's really straightforward. I mean, the node it doesn't seem like it's going to affect me at all. So I go in here, just trying to play conservative. Just want to get to, my armor shatter. So it totally shuts him down. You see there's the bleed. It's coming every 2 seconds. No big deal. And now I armor shatter him. And all of a sudden, it's like, oh, my health just dropped. Actually, I only really noticed it as I was watching this video, and it dropped again. And I keep on looking at him, like losing big chunks of health, and he's not even touching me. And then I finally realized that when I shut him down, it also shut down the bleed node. And so I'm taking that 7% damage every 2 seconds because that bleed doesn't proc because I've shut him down with armor shatter. So really interesting. You never are quite sure how all these nodes are going to interact with your champions too. And so that was a big surprise. So I was going to that fight thinking I'd take no damage. I ended up taking a pretty good amount, probably like 4 or 5 of those procs. So I probably lost 28% or so, 35% of my health, and yeah, that was definitely a surprise. So now I'm heading off to path 9, so familiar territory to me. I've been running path 7, I think, for the last 2 seasons. So I'm still over on the path 7, 8, 9, the extreme right part of the screen, except now I go over to this fight right here, and so it's a Yondu, and Yondu is not very impressive. He's a 6-star unduped rank 1, so even easier. There's confusion, but it won't matter to me at all with the synergy I have. So I go ahead and put on big boost. I don't want to take any chances in war, especially given how many times I've died this season. So I just go in full blast, and usually Yondu I'm pretty confident in fighting him, and I don't worry too much about it. I mean, it's a little bit difficult because it's hard to get the parries on him, but for the most part he's a very straightforward character to fight against. And so I'm just again trying to be patient, get the parry here, just going in. Yeah, it's fun playing Mysterio. I love him as a character. I think he's super cool. I love his poisons. I love sort of all the different utility he has. Here I'm trying to bait the SP1, and so just doing that, punching into his block, trying to get him to throw it, and then I get caught right here. So he throws his heavy. I sort of think it's SP1, so I rush in there, but I'm too slow, and then he absolutely gets me with the SP1, and now I'm heel blocked and bleeding. I'm like, wow, I'm taking a significant amount of damage. You can see it's just absolutely melting me. That heel block is really pretty nasty because, of course, then you're just taking full damage from the bleed. So again, I get him to the SP1. Not gonna play as foolish this time. In war, I tend to back up farther than I do just when I'm playing. Just again, you want to be more conservative, but it actually makes you play sort of poorly, and that's the whole reason I got clipped, because I was too far back off his heavy, and the length of time it took me to dash in meant he threw his SP1. So it's like trying to balance playing conservative, but too conservative can also lead to mistakes like that one. My SP3, of course, totally knocks him down a lot, and then I'm really powerful. You get a good buff from the SP3, and I defeat him, and yeah, it's an okay fight. I would say I did fair in it. I really shouldn't have gotten hit by the SP1, and again, that bleeding heel block, whew, that was big damage. So now I'm going up to the last fight on this path 9, and it is a Medusa. So there is the global node that allows her to evade since she's a small character, so I'm worried about that. The confusion and the force of will, I mean, those almost have no effect. Again, the confusion is eliminated by the synergy, so both Emma and Mysterio get the synergy that allows them to not be affected by reverse controls. I'll go ahead and throw in a plus 5% mutant boost. I'm going to be mostly using her SP2 for my special, so I figured I might as well get a little extra damage. I hardly ever use that boost anyway. Throw in the invulnerability boost just in case she evades me, and off I go. So my plan is just to sort of fight her as normal until she gets her 3 Furies, and then just heavy her so I don't get the auto parry, the auto block and parry. And so that's going good. I'm sort of thinking about her evades. I'm just trying to hold how many combos I do. Now she's at the 3 Furies, so it's nothing but heavies. Emma's heavies are amazing because they reduce the power she gains and you get extra power, so you can see she hardly gains any power off that heavy, which is really cool. And keep on doing that until her Furies are off, and then I'll use my SP2. So again, I don't want it to be blocked. So I do some nice damage there. Got a really big crit. So now it's back to the same thing. She's up to 3, so I'm just going to use my SP2. You know, you would think Emma would be a really good counter because in telepathic form, she counters the evades. But the problem with my Emma is she's Sig 200, so almost any damage she takes, even against block hits, she goes back to diamond form, and then you can't evade. And of course, at the worst possible time, she evades. So I was firing off my SP2, and I totally missed as she evaded it. So that definitely slowed down the fight some. Luckily, you know, again, the heavies build up pretty quick to another SP2, and I haven't really taken much damage. I blocked that entire SP2 just because I didn't want to fire it. Then again, she evades, uses 2 my indestructible, so I was glad I had it. It always feels foolish when you have it and you don't use them, but I guess that's a perfect, is using 2 of the 3 of them. It's just a good use of them. And now, again, got her down assassin's range, just heavying her, and again, just slow and easy, and try not to like worry about things too much and play well. And yeah, finish it off with a nice side kick to the gut. And so Emma, yeah, I love Emma. Actually, I really like this team. Emma and Mysterio, I think, are really cool characters and super fun. The only interesting thing about this team is they actually don't lend themselves to too many other fights. So here's the end of the fight where we have like coordinated boss action. So of course we all try to go in at the same time because many people have more than one fight. So you want to just do it all in one boost, and other people have to clear fights before someone else can fight. So it's a good choreographed effort by our team, and just to get to the final boss and then have him be taken down. So it's a good war overall. You know, the new path is, I think, really good. Again, as I'm one of the weaker players, I think it's good for me to go on the path like 2-9 because well within my capability of soloing every time. And we did win against BRJP, and so they played well for a while. Actually, for most of the war, they were ahead of us by a fair bit, and it was only right at the end where we sort of caught up and beat them. We had a lot of deaths in this war, so their defense was really well done and nicely placed. And as overall fun war. I like my new path. It's always good to do something different, and I look forward to our next war, which is coming up. So this is Enzo Eigen of the Alliance for Loki, wishing everyone a bientôt, bis später, and see you later. Bye bye.